UFC Fight Pass presents Extra Rounds. Live from the Fight Pass studios in Southern California, it's Extra Rounds on UFC Fight Pass. Along with Ray Longo, here's your host, TJ DeSantis. Extra Rounds.
It is Extra Rounds here on UFC Fight Pass. I'm TJ DeSantis. He's Ray Longo. Appreciate you joining us. UFC 289 officially in the books. And it's the final time, Ray, that we're going to see Amanda Nunes as she defends in dominant fashion, really bringing it to Irene Aldana. Unanimous across the board. The only dissension was one judge scored at 50-43, while the other two had it 50-44. What can you say about the Lioness? She's the greatest of all time, and she proves it on the way out.
Hats off to her, and I think the judges sent a nice message to Aldana that she did absolutely nothing. Look, first off, hats off to Amanda Nunes. But the beautiful scene in the octagon, great family, looks like she's enjoying life. I mean, I would have liked to have seen for her retirement Mike Brown in there with her. I wish some of those guys from AT&T that were with her whole career, I think they deserve to be there. But, you know, beautiful performance. I mean, the first 3 rounds, it was almost like watching her work the heavy bag in the gym. Deer in headlights, I don't know what's coming to my mind, but I would have jumped all over that girl after the first round. You kind of, you know, there's like moving around and getting reads, and then there's like a deer in headlights. After the first round, I was like, I mean, is it possum? Like, what do we, I mean, I didn't know what was going on, but you get an opportunity to fight for the championship of the world. That, to me, is unacceptable. And I hate to be critical because it takes balls to get in there. But just based on her previous performances, I don't know what I was looking at.
I understand your frustration, Ray, because Irene Aldana is a better fighter than we saw tonight over the course of 25 minutes. She is. I mean, I've called her fights in Invicta. I've seen her, land, counter shot. She had one really decent punch. That was it. One punch that was solid in this fight. You mentioned a deer in headlights. I mean, I'm wondering if that was the case, if there maybe was something else that we don't know about. Was she sick? Was she under the weather? Did she suffer an injury? Or was it the fact that she was just standing in front of the greatest woman to ever do it?
You might be right, because I'm going to say, even with Beneil and her, they seem like they got caught in the moment tonight.
Yeah.
It was a big moment for both of them. And, man, they just didn't pass the test. Although at least Dariush looked like he had a path to victory. When he was on the floor, it looked like he was doing great. You know what I mean? You could see that. I could see that fight going like that for 3 rounds.
Right, sure.
You know what I mean? With Aldana, no clue as to how she was going to get that fight done, especially based on what I thought it was going to be. Maybe that's why I'm mad, because I was so wrong.
You bought into the belief that Aldana might have had a wrinkle.
It wasn't like, and obviously Amanda Nunes, the greatest to ever do it. I firmly believe that. I'm almost wanting to apologize for picking against her, but it wasn't like she did a lot in the first round either. It wasn't overwhelming.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's where I'm confused. Like, the girl took the best that Amanda Nunes had and still wasn't doing like this. They can't get worse than what you were experiencing.
Right.
Take a shot. I mean, go out on your shield, something.
I thought that if Aldana was going to have any success in this fight, it was going to be after she did take some of the better shots that Amanda had to give her, and then just relied on her heart and durability. But I mean, she was durable. Like, I don't want to say anything
100%.
About her inability to compete from a durability standpoint, because you're right, Ray. She took everything that Nunes had to give her. Unfortunately, she didn't give any of it back. And
nothing. And even the takedowns, TJ, you might as well just blown her over. Like, no balance. No, I'm being critical, but I just think you have an opportunity like that. If that girl's really going to kick herself in the ass tomorrow. I mean, there's no question about it. And honestly, I think the corner, even after the second round, should have been do you want to fight or you don't want to fight?
Right.
You know, I'll throw in the fucking towel. You can't go out like this.
And, you know, that's the interesting thing here, too, is you look at Aldana and where she, you know, ranks in this division. She was number 5 coming into the title opportunity tonight. Now, Amanda Nunes walks away. That belt's up for grabs. No one's going to be talking about Irene Aldana in a title picture right now. She's going to have to go
ever again.
I mean, that's a little harsh, Ray. I don't know if I'll go that far. But
I don't know.
I mean, she's going to have to win 2 or 3 fights before anybody considers her to be going in front of someone who would be, say, like a Juliana Pena, who is probably the number 1 contender at this point.
I could see Dana grabbing her and telling her to beat Joe Pyfer. You know what I mean? Like, I tell you, it depends on what kind of mood Dana's in tonight, because I don't know. Well,
it was one-way traffic, to say the least. And let's look at some of the accolades for Amanda Nunes. That record's going to change. It's 23 wins now, opposed to 5 losses. Not able to get the finish tonight, but longest combined UFC title reign. Add another day to that. I don't know if the day's double because she's got 2 belts or not, but the bottom line is she's the greatest woman to ever do it. She walks away, going to leave a huge void atop that division. You know, I don't know if you just say it's Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena or what you're going to really do with that division. One thing I do worry about, Ray, is with the exit of Amanda Nunes. DC was talking a little bit about this in the commentary booth. Will women's mixed martial arts feel the same?
No.
It's hard to think that it will be the same after Amanda leaves.
I don't see it. Who's the next, really, the rising star?
I mean, I'm looking at the top 15 or so here in the bantamweight division. Juliana Pena, Raquel Pennington, Holly Holm, Ketlin Vieira, Irene Aldana, Yana Santos. I mean, a lot of these women have fought and lost to, all of them have fought and lost essentially to Nunes. It's hard to really, you know, pick a fight that can headline a UFC pay-per-view and get people excited about this division.
Unequivocally. And, I think you'll price, man, I just don't know who the next superstar is, but that division is wide open, you know what I mean, for somebody to become a champion. So that'll be a little interesting, but man, I don't know what I was expecting tonight, but I don't know. That fell flat for me, really flat.
Crazy to think, Amanda said this on her way out tonight, the UFC doesn't have a Brazilian champion now. No Brazilians occupy a belt.
Yeah, well, they're going to rely on Dubronx, who I thought was absolutely fantastic tonight.
Yeah, what can you say about Charles Oliveira? I mean, you are right. For Dariush, who went out early in this fight, you know, got out of there in the first round, he did have some moments. It looked like we could have seen a really interesting ground shootout, but man, it all started with that head kick by Oliveira on the feet, and man, once Dariush was on unstable legs, Charles Oliveira did not relent, and huge win for the Brazilian.
10 plus for killer instinct, and man, that guy can finish fights. I mean, that's it. He got him hurt, and he finished that fight. He did what he was supposed to do. Yeah,
100%. When I look at Oliveira, the way that he shined tonight, you know, went to what we were talking about, unbelievable output, amazing finishing rate, north of 90%. I'm curious, though, in what you saw tonight from Oliveira, does it give you more hope, I guess, in the sense that he can have an effective fight or be able to get past Islam Makhachev, who submitted him last year?
No, I saw nothing that indicates that, but I think he could beat everybody else in the division. I think Islam's just a bad matchup for him. You know what I mean? With the wrestling and kind of like the anti-jiu-jitsu, it's
right.
You know, and he submitted him quite easily too, I think. But he did knock him down first, I think.
I mean, I think a lot of people were reading into that submission a bit and overlooking the fact that he was hurt pretty badly on the feet.
Which happens, and that's, you know, a little different. But I just think that's a really bad matchup for him.
Yeah. You know, as far as how Oliveira can sort of reverse his fortune, I'm curious what that looks like, Ray. Like, if you were in the corner of Oliveira, do you say just be more conservative, be, you know, more patient and not be as aggressive? Because tonight we saw Oliveira be Oliveira and be very aggressive. I don't know if he can afford to do that against Makhachev.
Yeah, he's got to pick his spots, and exactly what he did tonight. If he got him hurt, see, I think that's the great thing about Charles. He gets you hurt, man. He's not letting you off the hook. And I think that's what, see, I saw him get hurt with Chandler and Gaethje.
Yeah.
And they let him off the hook. When he hurt them, he didn't let him off the hook. That was the difference. But I just, in my mind, I thought that was going to run out sooner or later. I thought Beneil was smart enough to make the adjustments. But, man, I was wrong. And hats off to Oliveira. I thought he fought a great fight tonight. He needed a win like that to propel himself into that title shot. And I think he deserves it. That was a big win.
Yeah. I'm with you, Ray. I think stylistically, Makhachev is a pretty tough matchup for Oliveira, especially because he's just relentless. I mean, if he has you hurt on the feet, like we saw, he smothers you on the floor. And I don't know, short of Oliveira being able to sort of stick and move and hurt him on the feet, I don't think that Oliveira is ever in a advantageous position if he's on the floor, because we know if Oliveira's on the floor with Makhachev, he's probably going to be on bottom.
Right, exactly. He still deserves the shot. Look, we've seen this in divisions, right, where a guy can beat everybody but the champion, and he's never going to beat the champion. I'm trying to think of an example of that, but I know we've seen it before where guys.
I mean, Rich Franklin Anderson Silva is the first one that comes out in my mind.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where they can beat everybody,
right,
but the champion, and that causes a problem for the promotion and for the guy. Because you just got to take fights, and you're never going to get another title shot, and you probably could beat everybody else. You know?
And that's the tough thing that Beneil Dariush is looking at this point in his career. I mean,
I don't think he was, championship material in the UFC's eyes. So he's not seeing another title shot. It's a wicked game, man. You got to be grounded. But I don't know the relationship with the UFC, but I think he's in trouble as far as another title shot.
I mean, let's look at like the usual suspects to actually get multiple opportunities in that division. You're talking about guys like Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier. Those guys, they're BMFs, literally fighting for that title.
They really are, and they're exciting as shit fighters too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I say I think Beneil needed to have a close. If he lost, it had to be a very competitive, close loss decision where maybe you thought he won. Then it doesn't really do him any harm. This was definitive, and you got to give it up to DuBronx.
Yeah, 100%. Let's take a look at the odds and how they fared. These were the opening lines. Saw a little bit of movement as we got closer to fight time. Oliveira cashes as an underdog, opened at plus 125. He closed at plus 130. So if you were able to put some money on Charles Oliveira, you were rewarded for doing so. And hopefully you did so over at DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of the UFC with same-game parlays, spread betting, and a lot more promos for you. Download the app, sign up with promo code Fight Pass, and get in on all the UFC betting action today. And
TJ, hats off to the odds makers for Amanda Nunes. I thought minus 320 was way too high. That could ease.
It wasn't high enough, appararly.
It could have been a minus 800. That's what it looked like.
Right. Yeah.
No chance in the world of winning the fight. Which, wow. I don't know. I think I'm more frustrated with myself. I can't. I was way off on that.
But I think a lot of people were. And it came down to the idea that there wasn't much left for Amanda Nunes to really be fighting for. And that's what I love about the fact that she walks away, Ray, because
beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
To walk away, after a performance like that, that's what I was really sort of in awe of, is she didn't really have to fight for anything other than just one more great performance. And she gave us that. And she was fired up in a way where I think she truly was excited to retire.
Yeah. That did it in the right way, man. Again, I think the only thing missing was I guess they had a fallout at AT&T. I thought it was more mutual, but I just think that's where you came from, and I don't like when you forget where you came from, no matter what happens. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, even though it didn't work out at the end, I want to thank those guys. That's the only thing I would have liked to have seen. But besides that, class act, greatest fighter of all time, bar none. No question in my mind. And, man, she got the job done easily tonight, you know. So hats off to her, and I wish her the best of luck with her family, everything. I mean, they seem like nice people.
You are right. You can't tell the story of Amanda Nunes without talking about you know, Mike Thomas Brown and American Top Team. And I think that's like I'm not an insider by any means when it comes to
Mike's
ATT.
Mike's one of the good guys in the sport. You know what I mean? I'm sure he had nothing to do with anything.
Right. But I mean, that is always the concern a little bit, Ray, about those, you know, super gyms is you have a lot of turnover and eventually before too long, the core, it just kind of moves on. Like a lot of people that I Dean Thomas, you know, a guy that worked with Amanda for a long time. He's one of the staple pillars to ATT, and he's no longer there anymore. So
bingo. That's why I keep it small. I love my clique. We got a 5,500 square foot gym. I love defeating guys from the big gyms, and we're just going to keep on rolling because that's what makes us tick. But I asked those guys too, how do you even coach that?
Right.
Guys come in for 6 weeks, like I could.
They're
never
leaving before you even know their name.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, not everyone can do it like you do it on Long Island out there. You know?
I'll tell you what, man. That's the smartest decision I ever made, was not to get too big.
I mean, I think there's something true to that. Like, I think there are some camps where you don't ever really want to be the biggest fish in your pond, you know, but at the same time, you like the idea that you have to go to, you know, Albuquerque or Southern Florida. Like,
stupidest thing I ever heard. And you know what I like more, TJ? Even when Aljo fought in Jersey, me, Matt, Weidman, Aljo, we were all out to eat together.
Right.
It's been years. It's 20 years. Yeah. And we're still together. I mean, can that hold up? You know, but you know, it's hard to have a marriage for 20 years. Got 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. Iaquinta's there, Maram's there.
Right.
I mean, we've been together forever. I think everybody would do whatever they had to for the other guy. You know, you got to make one phone call, and that's it. That's the way I like it, and I think that's what makes those guys tick. I think it makes them even better. They're all technically great, but when you have that unseen force behind you, you know, with just the camaraderie, I think it's hard to beat. You know, I'm just glad I was involved in that.
Another thing that I like too about the smaller setups are the fact that you don't have too many, you know, cooks in the kitchen, if you will. When you got a lot of guys moving around, you know, they go over here for their striking and over there for jiu-jitsu. Sometimes those coaches aren't talking to each other, and it's hard to formulate a game plan when your coaches aren't on the same page.
Yeah, we got a million stories about that too, TJ, that we'll save for another time. But you're 120% right.
Yeah, big night for the Canadians though, 5-0.
Wow, holy crow, crazy. Yeah, and I thought Mike Malott, looked impeccable tonight.
Yeah,
I mean, he's on a roll, that kid, man. Holy crap, he looks good.
Yeah, how fun was that? And then for him to get on the mic the way that he did, it just it's fun to see guys in that element and have that opportunity to shine in front of their you know, home country, if you will. And Canadian fans, man, I mean, they are among the hardest of the hardcore when it comes to mixed martial arts, and it was pretty exciting to see Vancouver get treated to a great output from their fellow Canadians.
Trust me, TJ, I experienced it when Matt had the rematch with St. Pierre.
That's right.
900 riot control police. They had us going through. Talk about Rich Franklin. He was with us. Who was this? Gurgel?
Yeah, George Gurgel, yep.
I mean, they had us all underneath. They couldn't even take us out the normal way. We were downstairs underneath the whole arena leaving. But you couldn't hear the corner advice. That's how crazy they were.
Yeah.
23,000 strong.
Yeah.
Pounding the floor, the building shaking. That was surreal. That was the most surreal point of my life with that stuff. So yeah, you don't have to tell me about the Canadian fans. They are passionate. You know,
well, I mean, they're a danger to themselves, Ray. Producer Frankie lets me know that I forgot about this, but I heard DC and Anik talking about it during Mikey Mallett's walk. The railing had collapsed. Like,
oh yeah, I could see that. Trust me, I'm saying nothing compared to dude. They were trying to kill us.
I know.
Going in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even joking around. It was bizarre.
The Brazilians chant, "You're gonna die," but the Montreal fans actually try to kill you. Apparently,
yeah, they actually do try to kill you. I'm going to say worse than it. Thank God there's a little more law and order in Montreal than in Brazil. But if there wasn't, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. I guarantee you.
Man, I can't imagine you being the bad guy, Ray.
Oh,
you're such a likable guy.
Not that night.
Yeah. But I mean, who's the biggest winner tonight? Was it Oliveira?
I'm going to say Oliveira was the biggest winner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree with that.
Is it immediate for him as far as the title fight is concerned? Because it's only one fight removed. Granted, it was in phenomenal fashion. I just sometimes, the UFC can be a bit wary of making rematches. Sometimes they get a little bit of flack for that. But I like this rematch idea.
I like it, but he lost so definitively. That's what I don't like. I don't know. Is that going to sell that? Is that enough of a fight to get fans to believe that he could beat Islam? I don't know.
I mean, you have to package it as like a co-main event to a bigger title fight being the main event.
Yeah, we could do that. They'll know what to do. They're on top of the numbers and what people think and all of that stuff. But
I mean, you know what the right answer might be, and people are going to groan when I say this, but you put Conor McGregor against Michael Chandler in the co-main event, and then you have that be the main event.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
that should be good. You actually think that fight's happening?
I mean, I hope it's happening.
What are we in, June now?
It is June. Yep.
So he's got to be 6 months in the USADA pool, which I'm sure they could finagle, but that's already taking you into next year.
I know. You
know the way they do the shows. At the end of the show, because everything's hot,
right?
That's when you fight.
It's not going to be in that timeline.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, but that's where the momentum is
for sure.
But
the same
that could
rules.
Be an old school thought.
The same rules don't apply, I think, when it's Conor McGregor. Yeah,
well, obviously that's 100% true, but that wouldn't be bad. That's a big seller.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to put my head together to think how you would make that. I mean, obviously, it's got to be the main event. You can't have even Conor McGregor. You can't have Conor McGregor in a non-title fight be the main event when you have a championship on the same card. But.
You know what? That is interesting. Look, he's the draw.
Right, for sure.
He might demand to be the headliner.
Well, I mean, it's not like it hasn't been done before. Off the top of my head, I think a UFC 50, which was dubbed the War of 04. The main event was Tito Ortiz versus Patrick Cote, and the co-main event was Matt Hughes versus George St. Pierre for the welterweight championship.
Remember that? Cote fought him at 205.
Yeah. I mean, Cote, and if I remember correctly, I think Guy Mesger was supposed to fight Tito Ortiz.
Oh, wow.
And had an issue with his medicals. And then Patrick Cote, who I think was fighting Travis Lutter or something like that on the card at middleweight, or I don't know what it was, got moved up. Something like that.
Could be.
I'm trying to think about things that happened like 19 years ago.
Yeah, I'm having enough trouble with yesterday. Forget about 19 years ago.
All right. Anything else you want to hit on, Ray, before I let you go to bed?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have nightmares tonight. I don't know what I was looking at.
Don't beat up yourself so bad for buying into the Aldana hype train a little bit. I mean,
man, she kept the high guard going. That was good. I tell you.
She landed one nice right hand, Ray.
Yes, but shouldn't that give you confidence to go for it? Take a shot.
You would think.
Go out on your shield. Come on, it's a championship fight.
Well, that's the thing that was sort of curious about it. She didn't, I mean, don't get me wrong, she was battered and beaten up, but she didn't look like she wasn't able to fight, but she just stopped fighting for whatever reason.
Yeah, for whatever reason. I hope there's a valid reason, but that wraps it up, man. I don't know.
All right.
I was a little cantankerous tonight.
That's a good word. I like that, cantankerous. Can you spell it?
I couldn't come close to spelling it.
I think it starts with the C and then
ends with and it definitely ends with an OUS.
Right.
But what's in between, your guess is as good as mine.
Who knows? All right, Ray. We'll let you get out of here.
All right, DJ, you're the best, man. Thanks. I'll see you during the week.
Yes, thank you, Ray. Ray Longo.
Take it easy, buddy.
Kind enough to join me here on Extra Rounds from UFC Fight Pass. We are almost done here. I need to have Dana White tell you about the UFC Fight Pass Invitational. That's just around the corner. So I throw it over to the UFC president and get you hyped up for one of the better grappling events of this year. So stick around. More from Extra Rounds right here on UFC Fight Pass.
What's up, everybody? The UFC Fight Pass Invitational is back. You can stream it live on UFC Fight Pass on June 29th. The main event is between two of the best jiu-jitsu artists in the world, Felipe Pena versus Craig Jones. Plus, the co-main event, former UFC champion Glover Teixeira takes on Anthony Smith. And now, the entire main card is set with two more big-time matchups to announce. Nick Miragali versus Cyborg Abreu. And Penn State wrestling phenom and two-time NCAA champion Roman Bravo Young makes his grappling debut against the number 6 UFC flyweight Alex Perez. And last but not least, we just finalized the absolute tournament bracket, including Nicky Rod, Big Dan Manitou, and many more. The winner of the tournament will take home a $30,000 grand prize. The best grapplers in the world are at the Fight Pass Invitational Live Thursday, June 29th at 9 Eastern, only on Fight Pass. You do not want to miss this. Sign up today.
I always want to be somebody big in sport.
Full control by Amanda Nunes. She's going to finish. The first female Brazilian UFC champion.
But I never thought I would be this huge.
Oh, it's all over.
I want to be remembered as the best MMA fighter in the UFC.
She's incredible.
The greatest of all time.
Amanda, the Lioness Nunes.
You're the Fighter. Amanda Nunes available for you now, streaming exclusively on UFC Fight Pass, along with pretty much her entire career between Strikeforce and Invicta and UFC. It's all there for you. UFC Fight Pass. Step into our world. Biggest combat sports library available at your fingertips. UFCFightPass.com. You can also check out all the episodes of Extra Rounds. Ray Longo getting fired up tonight about Irene Aldana. He bought into it a little bit. I did too. I'm not going to lie. I thought Aldana was going to have a little more up her sleeve for Amanda Nunes over the course of 25 minutes, but she was game, but unfortunately didn't have much to offer the champ. And now we move into the post-Amanda Nunes era. We'll see who can run with that division. You got to believe that Juliana Pena, who was in the house tonight, originally supposed to be on this card, she's going to have something to say about who carries the torch moving forward at 135, but we'll see what happens. That division definitely has a lot of rebuilding to do. This is the calm before the storm, really, for us here. A very busy June coming up for everyone here at Extra Rounds and UFC Fight Pass. Got that Fight Pass Invitational coming up on June 29th. Don't forget International Fight Week. It's UFC 290 hitting T-Mobile coming up here next month. Just action left and right, nonstop. UFC X coming up. Extra Rounds going to be on the ground out there. Can't wait to mix it up with the fans. Hopefully you're coming out. Say hello. In the meantime, you can always get in touch with us at TJ DeSantis, at Ray Longo MMA, at UFC Fight Pass. You can always text us or call us as well. Leave a message. I love getting messages from viewers and listeners. 917 UFC Talk is the number. 917-832-8255. All right. That's it. Ray Longo was all fired up, and I think we're on the adrenaline dump now after he got upset with Irene Aldana's performance. So no better time than the present to wrap it up. I want to thank you for staying up late, listening, watching, wherever you are in the world. Thank Ray Longo. And, yeah, we'll be back sooner rather than later for more Extra Rounds from UFC Fight Pass. Talk soon.